Hey guys, I'm Alessio and this is my cinema, and today I'm gonna talk about the Back to the Future trilogy. Today I feel like I'm in an uncomfortable position because I'm going to talk about Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale's creature and I won't praise it too much. This was the very first time I watched for real this trilogy. Before I just watched parts like the Overboard one, and I even thought that this part was from the first movie, not the second like it is. But when I think about them after the first two, I was thinking, why do people love those movies so much? I mean, it's full of cliche, it's full of scenes where you know where they're going to go, like when Doc Brown is trying to connect again the wires to let Marty go back to 1985. And this scene is there is not suspense at all for me. You know it's going to happen. So why does people love them? And it's full of scenes like that, and it bored me in the first two movies and also a bit in the third. And also the three movies repeat themselves. It happens pretty much the same thing over and over again in all those three movies, just to change the setting, like the chasing with the skateboard in the first two. It's pretty much the same, just changing what he's using, which is cool. It might be cool for someone, it's just not cool for me in this movie, because for example in Indiana Jones it happens pretty much the same in the three movies. I mean, the general structure of the movie is pretty much the same, but it's more settled, and I didn't mind it so much as I mind it in those two. And I was also thinking why people doesn't want those three movies to get rebooted or something like that. And the third one gave me the answer. And this answer is that it has two great characters, like Marty and Doc Brown, played amazingly by Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, and I think it's not possible to replace them. A sequel or a reboot without them won't work at all. Because a reboot would need to pick a new characters and new settings, because the characters won't be good as in those three. Second, the settings are really repetitive on themselves, so it will get even worse. So a reboot it's not possible just for those two reasons that I gave. And like part 2 and 3, those movies won't be written with passion and will be written just to make money, which is actually not good. The second two movies are not great as the first. They have a lot of problems, and it's mostly gained by the fact that they put a weird end at the end of the first one, which complicated a lot the work for Zemeckis and Gale, and it's easy to see that. So after the third, I understood why people does love those movies so much, and also I prefer the third over the second because it differs a bit from the structure of the originals. Even if it has poop and pee joke, we should be condemned in every country. As I was saying, the end of the first put Zemeckis and Gale in an uncomfortable position, trying to come up with a sequel using the end that they put in the first, and I repeat that too much, but they came out pretty much good. They didn't come out in a very strong way, but still it was nice for the first 40 minutes of the movie till Beef's comebacks to the past and give the almanac to himself, because this thing creates lots of problems for me, because when it should have come back, the future should have already been changed, and shouldn't have come back to the future when he got back. And don't try to tell me that the past and the future, the time was trying to catching up with it, because he traveled from the past in the new timeline, and he went straight to the new future, like Doc Brown said when they got back to the false 1985. They said that if they would go back to 2015, it would already be changed. So I don't know why it didn't got changed when Beast already came back, because I think it would have been cooler if Doc Brown and Marty while they were trying to rescue Marty's girlfriend, would have seen the world changing and collapsing and getting worse. But I can understand that in the 80s this process would have been really harder to do than it would have been now with the actual technology. Because also when Marty burns the almanac, the matches change immediately what they're saying on the back. So the future should have done the same. I mean, we should have, like I was saying, we should have seen the world change and be completely changed when Biff would come back with the DeLorean in 2015. And it would have been cooler, it would have been a better clue on what have happened, because I mean the piece of the cane in the car, and it's not a good piece of advice to make understand Doc Brown and Marty that someone used the car. I mean, the future changing would have been a better clue, it would have been much cooler, and the movie lost me there. I did not enjoy it much anymore, it bored me, and I just didn't try after this. And maybe one of the reasons why those movies are so much loved is the discussion that they can come up thinking about it, because the more you think, the more you see problem, the more you try to explain it. Even if you try to explain it 100% of the time you're just saying bullshit to me, because of how they set the movie. It also makes me think if Doc Brown would have invented the time machine as well. Probably yes, because Marty was already there when the Beef of the Future came back in 1955, but we also see later that Doc Brown gets in prison because he was insane. And did he create the time machine after or before? Because maybe if he didn't create it yet, the time machine, maybe the time machine shouldn't exist, it should disappear like the kids, like Marty and his siblings were disappearing from the picture if he didn't create it. So it creates lots of problems the way they did it. And it also makes me think why memories doesn't change. I mean, at the beginning of the tale we see that the Doc from 1955 sees his grave, and he will live his life knowing that he will be buried there and that he will die in 1985. And why he still goes against the ancestors of beef for $80? Why doesn't he wait Marty in the cave that he chose in 1955? I don't understand those things. Because maybe it could have been even much better if they both saw that the field was lost and they both had to came back and then search for an answer. Then Marty would have went against those guys, but it's still weird that Doc Brown had to go against them because he knew what was going to happen. There is also a question of why Doc Brown is still flying the car in the middle of a thunderstorm, even if he knew that it was going to happen, because Marty told him what happened when he got stuck in 1955. And those two sequels had lots of problems because of that. I can understand that they didn't want to make it too complicated, but it was needed just to put the idea of an alternate timeline and an alternate universe and things like that, and everything would be solved pretty easily. And in the movie they deny the existence of that, because if they don't deny the existence of another future, when they got back from 2015 to 1985, the future should have, for the past for them should have been changed at all, because they were in another timeline. So when they got back, they should have been in the normal 1995, and they should have been created another timeline with the almanac and the dystopian future of beats. But science, they didn't introduce this idea of an alternate timeline, and the music has lots of problems and lose me on the way. I just can't stand those things. I can understand that people can pass over because the movie is still fun, the characters are enjoyable. The movie is really well paced. There are not so many moments where the story doesn't evolve. It's always going, and it's pretty rare for movies sometimes. So I can understand why people likes it, but for me it's just not possible. I can see myself watching it in the future, but like in 5 years, not now. So what are my conclusions on this trilogy? It's a very fun trilogy, it's a very nice franchise, as far as you don't overthink it. I mean, the first you can overthink it and you won't find problems, I think. It's pretty coherent with itself. It's a very good one, though I still didn't enjoy it much. But I can recognize it's good. It's very good. And the second two were just made with the pressure of the studio that wanted to suck on them. Those two movies suffered a lot, unfortunately. Otherwise, it could have been even a better trilogy than it is. So that's it. The review is over. You may subscribe if you enjoyed it. You may like it, you may unlike it. You may comment and tell me what you think about those movies. And if you disagree, probably there will be a lot of people that disagree if people will watch this video, but probably they won't. But still, so see you next time.